Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics. The character is a founding member of the Justice League, demi-goddess, and ambassador-at-large of the Amazonian people. In her homeland, her official title is Diana, Princess of Themyscira, daughter of Hippolyta. When blending into the society of man's world, she adopts her civilian identity Diana Prince. The character is also referred to by such epithets as the Amazing Amazon, the Spirit of Truth, Themyscira's Champion, and the Goddess of Love and War. Wonder Woman was created by the American psychologist and writer William Moulton Marston, and artist Harry G. Peter Marston, and his wife Elizabeth's cohabitant, Olive Byrne, is credited as being his inspiration for the character's appearance. Marston drew a great deal of inspiration from early feminists, and especially from birth control pioneer Margaret Sanger. The character first appeared in All-Star Comics in October 1941, and first cover dated on Sensation Comics, January 1942. The Wonder Woman title has been published by DC Comics almost continuously except for a brief hiatus in 1986. Wonder Woman's origin story relates that she was sculpted from clay by her mother Queen Hippolyta and given life by Aphrodite, along with superhuman powers as gifts by the Greek gods. However, in recent years artists updated her profile. She has been depicted as the daughter of Zeus, and jointly raised by her mother Hippolyta and her aunts Antiope and Menelope. Artist George Perez gave her a muscular look and emphasized her Amazonian heritage. Artist Jim Lee redesigned Diana's costume to include pants. She inherits Sarah's divine abilities, becoming the personified god of war. And writer Greg Rucka clarified her sexual orientation as bisexual, giving her a backstory that includes positive relationships with women. Wonder Woman's Amazonian training helped to develop a wide range of extraordinary skills in tactics, hunting, and combat. She possesses an arsenal of advanced technology, including the Lasso of Truth, a pair of indestructible bracelets, a tiara which serves as a projectile, and, in older stories, a range of devices based on Amazon technology. Wonder Woman was created during World War II. The character was initially depicted fighting Axis military forces as well as an assortment of colorful supervillains, although, over time her stories came to place greater emphasis on characters, deities, and monsters from Greek mythology. Many stories depicted Wonder Woman rescuing herself from bondage, which defeated the damsels in distress trope that was common in comics during the 1940s. In the decades since her debut, Wonder Woman has gained a formidable cast of enemies bent on eliminating the Amazon, including classic villains such as Ars, Cheetah, Dr. Poison, Circe, Dr. Psycho, and Giganta, along with more recent adversaries such as Veronica Cale and the Firstborn. Wonder Woman has also regularly appeared in comic books featuring the superhero teams Justice Society and Justice League. Notable depictions of the character in other media include Gloria Steinem placing the character on the cover of the premiere edition of Ms. magazine in 1971. The 1975–1979 Wonder Woman TV series starring Linda Carter, as well as animated series such as The Super Friends and Justice League. Since Carter's television series, studios struggled to introduce a new live-action Wonder Woman to audiences, although the character continued to feature in a variety of toys and merchandise, as well as animated adaptations of DC properties, including a direct-to-DVD animated feature starring Kerry Russell. Attempts to return Wonder Woman to television have included a television pilot for NBC in 2011, closely followed by another stalled production for the CW. Gal Gadot portrays Wonder Woman in the DC Extended Universe, starting with the 2016 film Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, marking the character's feature film debut after over 70 years of history. Gadot also starred in the character's first solo live-action film Wonder Woman, which was released on June 2, 2017. On October 21, 2016, the United Nations sparked controversy by naming Wonder Woman a UN honorary ambassador for the empowerment of women and girls in a ceremony attended by Undersecretary General for Communications and Public Information Christina Galik and by actors Linda Carter and Gal Gadot. 2 months later, she was dropped from her role as a UN ambassador following a petition. Creation. Marston combined his, Elizabeth's, and Olive's feminist ideals to create a superhero character that young girls and boys could look up to. In an October 25, 1940, interview with the Family Circle magazine, William Moulton Marston discussed the unfulfilled potential of the comic book medium. This article caught the attention of comics publisher Max Gaines, who hired Marston as an educational consultant for national periodicals and All-American Publications, two of the companies that would merge to form DC Comics. At the time, Marston wanted to create his own new superhero. Marston's wife Elizabeth suggested to him that it should be a female. Marston introduced the idea to Gaines. Given the go-ahead, Marston developed Wonder Woman, whom he believed to be a model of that era's unconventional, liberated woman. Marston also drew inspiration from the bracelets worn by Olive Byrne, who lived with the couple in a polyamorous relationship. Wonder Woman debuted in All-Star Comics, scripted by Marston. Marston was the creator of a systolic blood pressure measuring apparatus, which was crucial to the development of the polygraph. Marston's experience with polygraphs convinced him that women were more honest in situations different than men, and could work more efficiently. Marston designed Wonder Woman to be an allegory for the ideal love leader, the kind of women who should run society. Wonder Woman is psychological propaganda for the new type of woman who should, I believe, rule the world, Marston wrote. In a 1943 issue of The American Scholar, Marston went on record by describing bondage and submission as a respectable and noble practice. Marston wrote in A Weakness for Wonder Woman, which was attached to a fictional stipulation that he dubbed Aphrodite's Law, that made the chaining of her bracelets of submission together by a man take away her Amazonian super strength. This weakness served to subvert the damsel in distress trope, since Wonder Woman inevitably rescues herself. However, not everything about his creation was explicitly explained in any one source, which caused confusion among writers and fans for many years. Wonder Woman evolved as a frontrunner of emancipation for the suffragettes who fought for the rights of women in the early 20th century. Golden Age. Initially, Wonder Woman was an Amazon champion who wins the right to return Steve Trevor, United States intelligence officer whose plane had crashed on the Amazon's isolated island homeland to man's world and to fight crime and the evil of the Nazis. During this period, Wonder Woman joined the Justice Society of America as the team's secretary. Silver Age. During the Silver Age, under writer Robert Kaniya, Wonder Woman's origin was revamped, along with other characters. The new origin story increased the character's Hellenic and mythological roots, receiving the blessing of each deity in her crib. Diana is destined to become beautiful as Aphrodite, wise as Athena, as strong as Hercules, and as swift as Hermes. At the end of the 1960s, under the guidance of Mike Sekowsky, Wonder Woman surrendered her powers in order to remain in man's world rather than accompany her fellow Amazons to another dimension. Wonder Woman begins using the alias Diana Prince and opens a mod boutique. She acquires a Chinese mentor named I Ching, who teaches Diana martial arts and weapons skills, using her fighting skill instead of her powers. Diana engaged in adventures that encompassed a variety of genres, from espionage to mythology. This phase of her story was directly influenced by the British spy thriller The Avengers and Diana Rigg's portrayal of Emma Peel. Bronze Age. In the early 1970s, the character returned to her superhero roots in the Justice League of America and to the World War II era in her own title. This, however, was ultimately due to the popularity of the TV series, at the time also having Wonder Woman set in WW2 era, and was shifted back to the 1970s era once the TV show did the same. With a new decade arriving, DC President Janet Kahn ordered a revamp in Wonder Woman's appearance. Artist Milton Glaser, who also designed the Bullet logo adopted by DC in 1977, created a stylized WW emblem that evoked and replaced the eagle in her bodice, and debuted in 1982. The emblem in turn was incorporated by studio letterer Todd Klein onto the monthly title's logo, which lasted for a year and a half before being replaced by a version from Glaser's studio. With sales of the title continuing to decline in 1985, the series was cancelled and ended in issue 29, written by Jerry Conway, depicting Steve Trevor's marriage to Wonder Woman. The Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover of 1986 was designed and written with the purpose of streamlining most of DC's characters into one more focused continuity and reinventing them for a new era. Thus Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor were declared to come from the Earth 2 dimension, and along with all of their exploits, were erased from history, so that a new Wonder Woman character, story, and timeline could take priority. Modern Age. Following the 1985 Crisis on Infinite Earths series, George Perez, Len Wein, and Greg Potter rewrote the character's origin story, depicting Wonder Woman as an emissary and ambassador from Themyscira to Patriarch's world, charged with the mission of bringing peace to the outside world. Perez incorporated a variety of deities and concepts from Greek mythology in Wonder Woman's stories and origin. His rendition of the character acted as the foundation for the modern Wonder Woman stories, as he expanded upon the widely accepted origin of Diana being birthed out of clay. The relaunch was a critical and commercial success. In August 2010, J. Michael Straczynski took over the series' writing duties and introduced Wonder Woman to an alternate timeline created by the gods in which Paradise Island had been destroyed, and the Amazons scattered around the world. He also introduced several Easter eggs within his run. In this timeline, Diana is an orphan raised in New York. The entire world has forgotten Wonder Woman's existence, and the main story of this run was of Diana trying to restore reality even though she does not properly remember it herself. A trio of death goddesses called the Morrigan acted as the main enemy of Wonder Woman. In this run, Wonder Woman wore a new costume designed by Jim Lee. Straczynski determined the plot and continued writing duties until Wonder Woman 05. Writer Phil Hester then continued his run. which ultimately concluded in Wonder Woman 14. In 2011, DC Comics relaunched its entire line of publications to attract a new generation of readers, and thus released Volume 4 of the Wonder Woman comic book title. Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang were assigned on writing and art duties respectively, and revamped the character's history considerably. In this new continuity, Wonder Woman wears a costume similar to her original mask and costume, utilizes a sword and shield, and has a completely new origin. No longer a clay figure brought to life by the magic of the gods. She is, instead, a demigoddess and the natural-born daughter of Hippolyta and Zeus. Azzarello and Chiang's revamp of the character was critically acclaimed, but highly divisive among longtime fans of the character. In a side story as part of Harley's Little Black Book, Wonder Woman meets Harley Quinn in London, and has a brief team-up with her in which we find that Harley has been a huge fan of Wonder Woman for years and has a bit of a crush on her. After the fight with the villain, the two retire to a local bar, where Harley suggests they join an English super team and then steals her magic lasso, but just to wrap it around herself so they and some of the other patrons can play truth or dare. They are last seen with Wonder Woman carrying Harley out of the bar asleep, though an additional piece of art shows Harley tied up and planting kisses on Wonder Woman. In 2016, DC Comics once again relaunched all of its publications as part of the DC Rebirth continuity reboot, which has a new bi-monthly Wonder Woman series from writer Greg Rucka. The new series does not use a regular storyline that exists between each issue. Instead, the story is alternated between each issue for two separate storylines which first started with the storyline that lies for the odd-numbered issues and Year 1 for the even-numbered issues. The new storyline as presented in these issues effectively recons the events from the previous New 52 series. The Lies storyline reveals that a number of events from the previous Wonder Woman series, in which Diana was made the Queen of the Amazons and the God of War, was in fact all an illusion created by a mysterious villain, and she had never once been back to Themyscira ever since she left, nor is she capable of returning there. The Year 1 story is presented as an all-new origin story for Diana, which reveals how she received her powers from the Olympian gods, which was intended to bring her back to her classical DC roots. Wonder Woman appears in DC Rebirth with a revised look, which includes a red cape and light armor fittings, along with her lasso and bracelets. She now regularly utilizes her sword and shield. Wonder Woman Rebirth artist Liam Sharp described the new armor as a utilitarian piece which allows her to move more freely. Characterization. During Marston's run, Diana Prince was the name of an army nurse whom Wonder Woman met. The nurse wanted to meet her fiancé, who was transferred to South America, but was unable to arrange for money to do so, as Wonder Woman needed a secret identity to monitor and look after Steve, and, because both of them looked alike, Wonder Woman gave the nurse money to go to her fiancé in exchange for the nurse's credentials, and took Diana Prince as her alias. She started to work as an army nurse, and later as an Air Force secretary. The identity of Diana Prince was especially prominent in a series published in the early 1970s, in which she fought crime only under the Prince alias and without her mystic powers. To support herself, she ran a mod clothing boutique. The Diana Prince alias also played an important role after the events of Crisis. Wonder Woman was broadcast worldwide, killing a villain named Maxwell Lord, as he was mind-controlling Superman into killing Batman. When Wonder Woman caught him in her lasso, demanding to know how to stop Superman, Maxwell revealed that the only way to stop him was to kill Lord. So as a last resort, Diana snapped his neck. To recover from the trauma of killing another person, the Amazon went into a self-imposed exile for 1 year. On her return to public life, Diana realized that her life as a full-time celebrity superhero and ambassador had kept her removed from humanity. Because of this, she assumed the persona of Diana Prince and became an agent at the Department of Meta-Human Affairs. During a later battle with the witch Circe, a spell was placed on Diana, leaving her powerless when not in the guise of Wonder Woman. In the current New 52 universe, Diana does not have a secret identity, as stated in an interview by series writer Brian Azzarello. However, when she and Superman began dating, for her civilian identity, she uses the Diana Prince alias whenever she is around Clark Kent, such as when she introduced herself to Lois Lane at Lost housewarming party under that name. Personality. Princess Diana commands respect both as Wonder Woman and Diana Prince. Her epithetical title, the Amazon Princess, illustrates the dichotomy of her character. She is a powerful, strong-willed character who does not back down from a fight or a challenge. Yet, she is a diplomat who strongly favors the pen, and a lover of peace who would never seek to fight or escalate a conflict. She is simultaneously both the most fierce and most nurturing member of the Justice League, and her political connections as a United Nations honorary ambassador and the ambassador of a warrior nation makes her an invaluable addition to the team. With her powerful abilities, centuries of training, and experienced at handling threats that range from petty crime to threats that are of a magical or supernatural nature, Diana is capable of competing with nearly any hero or villain. Many writers have depicted Diana in different personalities and tone. Between both of her diametric extremes, that of a worldly warrior, a highly compassionate and calm ambassador, and sometimes also as a naive and innocent person, depending on the writer. What has remained constant, and is a mainstay of the character, is her nurturing humanity, her overwhelming belief in love, empathy, compassion, and having a strong conscience. This trait had been the reason for her induction into the Star Sapphires. Writer Gail Simone was applauded for her portrayal of Wonder Woman during her run on the series, with comic book reviewer Dan Phillips of IGN noting that SHES molded Diana into a very relatable and sympathetic character. Actress Gal Gadot described Wonder Woman as an idealist, experienced, super confident, having many strengths and powers, but at the end of the day SHES a woman with a lot of emotional intelligence. In the Golden Age, Wonder Woman adhered to an Amazon code of helping any in need, even misogynistic people, and never accepting a reward for saving someone, while conversely, the modern version of the character has been shown to perform lethal and fatal actions when left with no other alternative, exemplified in the killing of Maxwell Lord in order to save Superman's life. The New 52 version of the character has been portrayed to be a younger, more headstrong, loving, fierce and willful person. Brian Azzarello stated in a video interview with DC Comics that they're building a very confident, impulsive, and good-hearted character in her. He referred to her trait of feeling compassion as both her strength and weakness. A distinctive trait of her characterization is a group of signature mythological exclamations, such as, "Great Aphrodite," "Great Hera," "Merciful Minerva," and "Suffering Sappho," some of which were contributed by Elizabeth Holloway Marston. Others. As Wonder Woman in Wonder Woman Volume 2, 30. Art by John Byrne and Patricia Mulvihill. Diana After her death, was granted divinity as the goddess of truth by her gods for such faithful devotion. During her brief time as a god of Olympus, Diana was replaced in the role of Wonder Woman by her mother, Queen Hippolyta. Unlike Diana receiving the title of Wonder Woman in honor, Hippolyta's role as Wonder Woman was meant to be a punishment for her betrayal in Artemis' death, as well as for unintentionally killing her own daughter. However, Hippolyta eventually grew to enjoy the freedom and adventure the title came with. Whereas Diana used the lasso of truth as her primary weapon, Hippolyta favored a broadsword. John Byrne, the writer that introduced the concept of Hippolyta as the first Wonder Woman, has explained his intentions in a post in his message board. "I thought George I. mistaken. Rebooting Wonder Woman was making her only 25 years old when she left Paradise Island. I preferred the idea of a Diana who was thousands of years old. From that angle, I would have liked to have seen Diana having been Wonder Woman in WW2 and be returning to our world in the reboot. Not having that option, I took the next best course and had Hippolyta fill that role. As Wonder Woman, Queen Hippolyta immediately got involved in a time travel mission back to the 1940s with Jay Garrick. After this mission, she elected to join the Justice Society of America and remained in that era for 8 years, where her teammates nicknamed her Polly. During that time she had a relationship with Ted Grant. Hippolyta also made visits into the past to see her godchild Lita, daughter of Hippolyta's protege Helena, the Golden Age Fury. These visits happened yearly from young Lita's perspective and also accounted for Hippolyta's participation in the JSA/JLA team-ups. When she returned from the past, Hippolyta took Diana's place in the JLA as well. Artemis of Bannermidal briefly served as Wonder Woman during Hippolyta's trials for a new Wonder Woman. Irana, a character similar to Artemis, defeated Diana in a new contest and became Wonder Woman in Pre-Crisis on Infinite Earths continuity. Irana was killed during her first mission. Others who have donned the Wonder Woman persona include Nubia, Cassandra Sandsmark, and Donna Troy. Powers and skills. Diana is depicted as a masterful athlete, acrobat, fighter and strategist, trained and experienced in many ancient and modern forms of armed and unarmed combat, including exclusive Amazonian martial arts. In some versions, her mother trained her as Wonder Girl for a future career as Wonder Woman. From the beginning, she is portrayed as highly skilled in using her Amazon bracelets to stop bullets and in wielding her golden lasso. Batman once called her the best melee fighter in the world. The modern version of the character is known to use lethal force when she deems it necessary. In the New 52 continuity, her superior combat skills are the result of her Amazon training, as well as receiving further training from Mars, the god of war, himself. Since as early as her childhood, the Golden Age Wonder Woman also had knowledge in psychology, as did her Amazon sisters. Pre-Crisis. The Golden Age Wonder Woman had strength that was comparable to the Golden Age Superman. Wonder Woman was capable of bench pressing 15,000 pounds even before she had earned her bracelets, and later hoisted a 50,000-pound boulder above her head to inspire Amazons facing the test, even when her super strength was temporarily nullified. She still had enough mortal strength of an Amazon to break down a prison door to save Steve Trevor. In one of her earliest appearances, she is shown running easily at, and later jumps from a building and lands on the balls of her feet. She was able to heal faster than a normal human being due to her birthright consumption of water from Paradise Island's Fountain of Eternal Youth. her strength would be removed in accordance with Aphrodite's law, if she allowed her bracelets to be bound or chained by a male. She also had an array of mental and psychic abilities, as corresponding to Dr. Marston's interest in parapsychology and metaphysics. Such an array included ESP, astral projection, telepathy, mental control over the electricity in her body, the Amazonian ability to turn brain energy into muscle power, etc. Wonder Woman first became immune to electric shocks after having her spirit stripped from her atoms by Dr. Psycho's electroatomizer. It was also discovered that she was unable to send a mental radio message without her body. Wonder Woman 05 revealed that Diana was formed from clay by the Queen of the Amazons, given life and power by 4 of the Greek and Roman gods as gifts, corresponding to her renowned epithet: beautiful as Aphrodite, wise as Athena, swifter than Hermes, and stronger than Hercules, making her the strongest of the Amazons. Wonder Woman's Amazon training gave her limited telepathy, profound scientific knowledge, and the ability to speak every language, even caveman and Martian languages. Between 1966 and 1967, new powers were added, such as super breath. In the Silver and Bronze Ages of comics, Wonder Woman was able to further increase her strength in times of great need. Removing her bracelets would temporarily augment her power tenfold, but cause her to go berserk in the process. These powers received changes after the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Post-Crisis. In the post-Crisis universe, Wonder Woman receives her superpowers as a blessing from Olympian deities, just like the Silver Age version before, but with changes to some of her powers. Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and fertility, blessed Diana with strength drawn from the Earth Spirit gear, making her one of the physically strongest heroes in the DC Universe, and the strongest female hero in the DC Universe. However, now Diana is the daughter of Zeus, king of the Greek gods, so it's unclear as to how much of her power and strength is a direct result of her divine heritage. Her connection to the Earth allows her to heal at an accelerated rate so long as she is in contact with the planet. However, as mentioned earlier, now that she is a demi-goddess, it has been suggested that she heals extremely quickly, also due to her divine heritage. In rare cases where she has been gravely injured, Diana showed the ability to physically merge with the Earth, causing whatever injuries or poisons to be expelled from her body. Such an act is considered sacred, and can only be used in extreme cases. Pallas Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, granted Diana great wisdom, intelligence, and military prowess. Athena's gift has enabled Diana to master over a dozen languages, multiple complex crafts, sciences, and philosophies, as well as leadership, military strategy, and armed and unarmed combat. More recently, Athena bound her own eyesight to Diana's, granting her increased empathy. Artemis, goddess of the hunt, animals, and the moon, graced Diana with the eyes of the hunter and unity with beasts, meaning Diana can communicate with all animals, including dinosaurs. The eyes of the hunter ability gives Diana a full range of enhanced senses, including telescopic vision and super hearing. Hestia, goddess of hearth and home, granted Diana sisterhood with fire. This power has been shown to control the fires of truth, which Diana wields through her lasso, making anyone bound by it unable to lie. This ability also grants her resistance to both normal and supernatural fire. Hermes, the messenger god of speed, granted Diana superhuman speed and the ability to fly. She is capable of flying at speeds approaching half the speed of light. She can react quickly enough to deflect bullets, lasers, and other projectiles with her virtually impenetrable bracelets. After the 2011 relaunch of the character, Wonder Woman does not naturally possess the power of flight. She gains it once she is hit by a feather thrown by Hermes. Aphrodite, goddess of love, bestowed Diana with stunning beauty, as well as a kind heart. While not completely invulnerable, she is highly resistant to great amounts of concussive force and extreme temperatures, and matches Superman in this regard. Although edged weapons or projectiles applied with sufficient force are able to pierce her skin, due to her divine origins, Diana can resist many forms of magical manipulation. She is able to astrally project herself into various lands of myth. Her physical body reacts to whatever happens to her on the mythical astral plane, leaving her body cut, bruised, or sometimes strengthened once her mind and body are reunited. She can apparently leave the planet through meditation, and did this once to rescue Artemis while she was in hell. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.